Welcome to the Toffee TV Podcast on what has been a very interesting week so far.
Darkness, my old friend.
Don't. We'll get copyright strikes.
My unusual friend.
Yes, change the words. Just change the words.
One word covers it,
Can't
doesn't
do
it?
it. Garfunkel knows all. Can't do it.
What about Paul Simon?
He's all right.
He writes all the songs.
Well, I know, but Garfunkel's the one who needs the money. Have
He
you
does.
seen his hair?
Yeah. There's a party in the back, but nothing in the front.
He needs it. You got to be very careful.
Great band, though.
Yeah, I mean, are they a band? They're only really a two-piece, weren't they?
I'd call them a band. They're a duo.
Well, then why you call them a duo then?
I don't know. It sounds like a gel you put on.
Okay, I mean, you know, it's an unusual
That's
start.
what let's be honest. They don't listen for the Everton content.
No, they don't. They listen to the cracking wit.
The offshoots.
Cracking wit that we
And Baz
provide.
Buzz Killington, or Baz Killington as he's known. Back to the serious stuff.
I'm not just drinking me coffee.
It's a smile on it, to be fair.
It does. I am smiling. I'm just listening to you two thinking, what's happened to the start of this podcast?
Well, anything but Norwich, eh?
Yeah,
Anything but Everton.
Yeah.
That's what the podcast should be called. Anything
We need
but
to
Everton.
do it. Yeah, we need to do a spin-off.
We've sort of got a show like that on
I know,
Patreon.
but we need to do a podcast on anything but Everton. That's actually brilliant.
Anything but Everton. Loads of people listen.
People-
Podcast network, yeah.
Yeah.
Starting, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Right now.
Like, yeah.
New show.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been an interesting week because no one's been sacked yet, which has made it quite interesting. It's been deathly quiet from Everton until the Black Friday sales come
Has
around.
it been quiet for Everton, or have the people been using the media mouthpieces very well?
Why are you looking at us?
Usually not media mouthpieces, usually independent, but people have got friends in the media and they seem to be driving a narrative, if you will.
What narrative? Because I can
That
see,
David Moyes is the messiah.
but I can see about 12 different narratives.
They are, because there's competing narratives, isn't there?
Isn't that maybe the issue? That there's
That is the big issue.
Competing narratives at a club.
Well, why don't we do this in the middle of it?
Why don't we, Baz?
So Norwich.
Anything but Everton. Norwich
Coleman's not mustard in this case.
Oh,
here we go. Good there. Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
wasn't. You could have saved that
No.
for like a really,
No.
really good
I had to get it
start.
out in case you got it in.
I would never have
That's
thought
a story
of
of a Saturday night, but anyway.
that. I mean,
So, yeah, Saturday.
the taxi tails are back.
They're
eh?
back already.
They're back.
Andy's coming on.
Blag taxi.
Black taxi.
Blag, I said blag.
Oh, join me in my Delta.
Like I know you will.
I mean, that was very sinister. That was very
Well,
sinister.
we've been discussing sinister things all day. Anyway, moving on.
So we've got Anything But Everton and the Taxi Tales. There's two
I mean,
podcasts
there's
for
two
our
podcasts.
network.
It's a podcast network. Yeah.
That is definitely a
Right,
podcast on its own. And maybe a YouTube channel and maybe something for other channels.
Anything but Everton fan TV.
Yeah. Definitely.
Taxi Tails.
You have just random people on it from the fan base who used to be Everton fans and now do something different.
Yeah, that'd be good.
You know, people like to do model planes. They could come on.
Again, I really don't know where this is going.
That's right.
I really don't know.
Norwich
So
City,
Norwich City, you know, that's
2-0.
easy win for us. 4 or 5. Some people would probably have said before
me.
the game. Yeah, it didn't quite work out like that. The team sheet was a team sheet
Where it all started.
where it all started, and essentially it's where it ended as well.
It
Because
did.
once that team got on the pitch and decided, well, we're not going to play football today. We're not going to try today. The manager's going to help us by doing very weird substitutions as well. It ended up being an absolutely one of the worst Everton performances of recent memory, and there's been a lot in recent memory. So
You know, not since Sam Allardyce have been trolled by our own manager, but it happened on Saturday, didn't it? You know what I mean? It's very rare. It only seems to happen at Everton that managers go out of the way to troll the fans. But by picking that team, which everyone knows is not going to win many games, let's be honest, it's too slow. The players don't. There's no commitment in the middle. You know, through the spine of the team. You know, you get what you reap what you sow, don't you, Marco? Unfortunately, in this case, you know, you can't you can't drop your better players who in some cases have been performing. You know, Iwobi's had a couple of good games. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been scoring goals, and you can't just drop them for players who aren't Everton's future and expect things to work out. You reap what you sow. On the positive for Norwich, I suppose Norwich came with a different sort of plan than they've had in the last couple of weeks. They had the best defender, Christoph Zimmermann, back. They sort of dropped Buendia to be a bit more functional in the midfield area, and it worked against us because Everton are not a smart team. We don't really come with a plan really, except against West Ham. That's the only team we have a plan for. or maybe a couple of the top clubs. Yeah, well, seemingly like that's 2 games against West Ham. You know, you look at Everton in isolation. You watch them 2 games, you go, oh, Everton a fantastic side, and then you watch everything else, think, who's this team? That maybe West Ham are just that bad, and maybe the corpse of a manager is that bad. But
we've generally only beaten bad teams this season, apart from Wolves, who were in a bad spell.
Yeah, but they had played 64 games.
No, I'm saying they were in a bad spell, but the other games we won are Southampton.
But again, them games where we played to their level, though, didn't we? We didn't struggle because we should have won the games, but we sort of, until they drew level, we sort of then got the impetus to go back ahead. Brighton games like that, Southampton games like that, where we took the impetus and then lost, unfortunately.
Yeah, the team was the big one. I mean, how Gylfi Sigurdsson can be left out for 3 or 4 games and come back as captain is
well, that was a slap in the face.
I mean, that was ridiculous. Tosin, he went back to the team that started at Southampton, but the team that started at Southampton was drawing 1-1 till he brought Iwobi and Calvert-Lewin on. So it just made no sense. We needed youthful exuberance against Norwich. We needed to get all over them, run all over them the first 15-20 minutes. These are games that you can put to bed early on if you do it right. And we went back to slow, ponderous football and it allowed them to just comfortably settle into Goodison.
I think what another thing it done was, regardless of tactics and things like that, and this has been said about the manager a few times. I think in games like this, November, a bit wet, a bit cold, fans may be thinking this won't really be a problem today. Is that you've got to send a team out like that to swarm, and it doesn't necessarily matter at times who's in that team, but they've got to be that kind of player. You've got to send players out who get on the ball, who want to close people down, who want to put tackles in, who want to do the hard stuff to get the fans on side early. But now we send a team out that's slow, and as you said, ponderous, and all it does is the fans just sit back and you start hearing all the tuts and all that, and every time the ball's given away, you hear the groans and everything, and all that happens is then the players, the fans get on the players' backs, and the players are not mentally strong to cope with that, and it just, that to me is a signal again that the manager hasn't got a clue about Everton Football Club, and he hasn't had a clue about Everton Football Club since day one. I truly believe that. He doesn't get the club, and this isn't a football thing, but it's not always about football, about how you're playing tactics. Sometimes you've got to just get people on side. We spoke about it the other day. Do the hard things first and earn the right to win a game of football. That's what you've got to do at any single level. Earn the right to win a game of football. And then once you've done that and you've won a couple of your personal battles and you've shown people, I can beat him every single time, that plays on players' minds. And I think it played on our players' minds more than it played on their players' minds. And that's, for me, where we ended up losing the game, because we just let them come on to us. They got confidence. And in the end, they deserved the 3 points.
I think that on the back of that, what you mean with Marco and the way he sets teams up and the way, Everton fans expect the baseline of performance, don't they? And that's what we require in terms of commitment and effort. I think also the manager, could have really helped himself in the game. And this is something with his game management, which we'll probably get onto later and this sort of links with the subs. Is all he had to do was bring Moise Keane on. The crowd would have been 1-0.
Would have been with him.
The crowd would have been with it. The crowd would have got off it. And whether Moise Keane did it or not, you would have got a bit of hope in the crowd, a bit of excitement. But then you kill the crowd stone dead with a sub like that.
I just think that taking Snidling off would have done exactly the same thing. And I'm not.
But he did take Snidling off, didn't he?
When did he take him off?
Oh no,
we were already 1-0 down.
Yeah, but he was preparing to take him off.
He should have come off after 25 minutes.
He should have come off for half time.
Positive managers do things.
Well, also the problem with that is, just before you say that, is it's what happens after he comes off the formation goes to absolute hell. There's no shape after that. And so I don't think we plan well.
Well, what he could have done was suck him off for half time, put Beningame in there, and gone like for like, and just gone right and take off Tosin and put Dom on, and gone right. This second half, we've got 2 kids on now. These are going to run around for us.
They play with
we're going to play with a little bit more energy, and I'm going to bring Moise Keane on with 20 minutes to go, 25 minutes to go. Peg these back, get the crowd involved in the game, and we'll win this game. Because sometimes you can set a team up and you can have a look how it goes, and you get to half time and go, this is crap, it's not working, lads. Changing it up, get the crowd up. We don't do that. We come out. A lot of people will have expected changes at half time at the weekend. A lot. Some won't. Some will have gone, he won't change it. But a lot will have expected changes.
Yeah.
Those 11 jogged back out onto the pitch. Right? And you would have thought that if you're the manager at half-time, I'd have been throwing cups down that dressing room with that performance. So therefore, they would have been riled up to come out in that first 10 minutes and be all over them. And we didn't. We come back and it was slow again.
Still let them have the
switch the ball back side to side to not get shots and get the crowd engaged. They score. He's trying to make the change. They score. It's happened. Ped mentioned it the other day. It's happened about 5 times this season. He's been ready in subs and we're giving them 48 instructions instead of just going, get on there and put yourself about. And then we make the change. But even when we went behind, there was no
reaction.
User in trouble here. It was just, we just carried on doing the same thing. And you know what? If it was a method of playing, you would say, well, they're trying to just do what they're good at. They just keep going, it's good, and don't panic. Man City, if you watch Man City, keep passing. Even if they're getting beat, they keep doing it because they know that it'll come through. With us, we can't say that because it's hit and miss. But then when he put Seamus Coleman on, with 20 minutes to go 1-0 down against a team at the bottom of the league that hadn't kept a clean sheet, that hadn't done this, that hadn't done that, and you're bringing a right back on who's out of form anyway. For a right back who wasn't having a great game but was still getting up and down the pitch and causing them issues, you killed the whole team.
Just go 4-3-3 and play
killed the whole team. Absolutely killed it.
I said this the other day. If you want to do something bold, you put another centre back on and you go 3 at the back and you play the full backs like wing backs, which they can do, and then allows you more room then up front in the midfield.
They have to think as well then, don't they? Because you've changed.
But the thing about the subways, and I know, listen, some people out there will say, well, City was having a terrible game and Coleman offered something, he got in the box a few times. But who's to say, you bring Dom on, you see how that is, and then you give it another 5 minutes and then say, well, then we make that sub or we make another sub. With 20 minutes to go, we'd shown our hand. We had nothing else to offer. So once that had sort of seen itself out, we had nothing. And I know they went and got the second. I mean, a great assist by Gylfi Sigurdsson.
He shrugged his shoulders afterwards.
We wouldn't have scored anyway. We wouldn't have equalised. It wouldn't have mattered.
No, it didn't look like we were going to score. I mean,
that's past the manager thing, and the fans have picked up on this. So when we go behind, we don't think we can win anymore.
They defended very well. They made 3 or 4 important blocks where it looped up onto the net. The keeper made a good save, and Sigurdsson, it was Aaron, but that was about the best we come. We had that one where Coleman played it behind Tosun and he'd done a good back heel, and Dom just couldn't stretch enough to equalise. But other than that, let's be honest, they should have ended that game having faced 30 shots, being pegged back, 70% possession, and they didn't. It was 18 attempts to 13. We had more possession, we had more shots, we had more on target, we had more... But none of it was convincing. You come out of a game. It was very much like the Sheffield United game. You come out of it and go, we've been all over them. I mean, we dominated the Sheffield United game more than we did Saturday.
They let us though.
But you come out of the game and you go, we've had more attempts, more passes, more possession, more corners, but not
for nothing.
Not really though, if you know what I mean. Yeah. You come out of it and went, we nearly do it. We might have had 18 attempts.
Not measured control.
No, because there's no pressure.
Krull didn't have to make an unbelievable save, did he? And that's the thing. I mean,
one save he made in the entire game.
They were the second worst defence in the league as well. They really didn't test them at all. And, Zimmerman was back in, don't be wrong, that does help them. But Godfrey's been stretched all over the place this season. Aaron's is a good player, but he's struggled in the Premier League.
If you've got strikers that don't move, and
exactly.
If you got and you're number 10, once you're faced with his back to goal.
Actually, he doesn't create separation. He closes the gap. He closes the gap on the players.
If you've got 2 fellas that aren't quick and moving, and they both want the ball into the feet with the back to goal,
comfortable for defence.
What are you going to do?
The big problem for me is, going back to that starting lineup, is we're 18 months into the project and he's basically starting 4 players who started his first game against Wolves. I'm right in thinking that Tosun, or did Tosun start? Yeah, Tosun started. Wolves started, Snydden started, and Sigurdsson started.
He did,
So you've gone back 18 months and you're still persistent.
And he's someone who agreed when these transfers were made in the summer that these players were right. So, at the end of the day, he can say no if he doesn't like players.
Either, I think, maybe not Gylfi, but the other 3 that took money for.
Yeah, he tried to sell Tosun,
He'd have took money for Walcott. He'd took money for Schneiderlin. He'd have took money
because he's lost confidence in other players, and he goes back to a baseline performance of experience. which is what, unfortunately, a lot of Premier League managers do, which is why a lot of young players have trouble getting in teams, but he's lost his confidence completely.
I understand that.
I agree.
I understand that. But when they're the players that you're bringing into the side, you know, okay, Snydon, there's not many options. Sigurdsson, there is an option. There's a Wobie we paid a hell of a lot of money for and aren't playing him in his position, which is just mind-blowing. Tosun, to me, has done absolutely nothing to get to be in this team. I didn't think he was good at Southampton. A lot of people were saying to me, I was like, he wasn't. He hardly moved. Yes, if you put the ball in front of him, especially when it's on those angles,
he has a good
shot.
Technique.
But he had one on Saturday. The only one he had, really.
But I've only ever seen him score, I think, one from them, and that was against Huddersfield.
Great finish, that, yeah.
But it was, wasn't it? But that doesn't happen.
Well, he done it Saturday. Kroll made. In fact, to be fair, that was the best save Kroll made. The cross shot.
Save.
But realistically, you were hoping for one of them. Moise Keane, if you played him 90 minutes, would probably have one shot at goal.
He's averaging, I think, 1.5 shots a game. Yeah.
So it's the same thing, isn't it? You're
Dominic Calvert-Lewin come off the bench against Brighton with his first touch scored, and nearly scored with another one against Southampton. It's like, Andy said it loads of times this week. Dom is like a 1 and 2 goal scorer. I know he's not. The way it works, it doesn't always work like that. But
it's just the minutes. But even if he was a 1 and 3 striker this season, it's better than what we've got. And let's be honest, the lad always puts in the shift. And let's be honest, we haven't even seen him with a proper number 10.
If you look at Everton, right? So if you look at any side, the only way to get a rhythm going is to try to keep most of your players there, and especially in the front positions. Now, last season, he just put Dom in, didn't he? And basically went, you're our striker for 3 months, right? So Dom got in, played at Cardiff, scored, we won, but I don't think he scored again. But it didn't matter because we knew that he was the one we were going to, right? So everyone else played off that, so you knew what you were doing. Now, don't get me wrong, I've criticised Dom for not being in the right areas and stuff like that. I think he's improved it a bit this season, and even Saturday he was in the 6-yard box, but then he was in centre midfield because everything went out the window.
Told you that's the contract with Guilty.
But if you said to him, right, essentially, Dominic Calvert-Lewin is number 1, and Moise Keane is number 2.
That's what it should be,
and Tosun 3, if you need him. We'll sell Tosun in January if we can. So what's the point? But we're arsing about with someone who we don't even
want. It winds me up completely.
Right? But if you know what Dom's starting, then you've got Richarlison. Now listen, Bernard comes back, right? Then he might look and go, well, I like Richarlison as my number 9. Fine, do it then. But don't bring the lad who you're ready to sell.
Exactly, that's
above
a bad message.
2 lads who should be in the team. You know, Keane, I can't sit here and make a case for Moise Keane starting games.
No,
because I don't think he's done anything.
You don't
right?
need to, though,
But I can make a case for him having half an hour in every game quite easily because we're not doing enough to score goals. So why isn't he getting his goal?
But you can't make a case for him because we haven't seen him enough.
That's what I mean.
That's consistent games.
That's what I'm saying.
He started 2 games this season.
You get and I know. Listen,
with Hugo as well.
We know
2 Premier League games.
We know Silva has got a way of doing things, and if people aren't pulling it in training, and that's fair enough. And if he's being late, I get all that. You need team discipline, although you don't need it on the pitch, which is the irony.
But you do need it, but we don't show it.
No, that's what I'm saying. From his standards don't translate onto the pitch because players don't seem to work hard on the pitch, even though that's what's asked for on the training pitch. But you've got to be. You know, last week in the press conference, he mentioned about Moise Keane scoring goals, and he was like, "Oh, and he played off the right as well," almost to say to people saying he can't play off the right. So why didn't, when Theo Walcott went off, why didn't you bring him on the right then?
But again, though, this is the problem with him. In the summer, he said he was a striker. So, and this is because he got.
It's because he didn't buy him, and it's because he didn't buy him. It's as simple as that. He did not buy him.
He agreed to contract that everyone he knew a director of football would be the person above him. So he can't
buy him, mate. I know, but that's the point. With this one, he's basically, for me, you can see it.
I think he wanted them, but I think he wanted an experienced striker.
But then you'd have to sell Tosun on the ass then, or you'd have to not bid for Zaha.
But he couldn't. I mean, to be fair, he couldn't get rid of the ass.
When people say an experienced striker, he goes Giroud. How many goals has Giroud scored in his last 30-40 Premier League games? And then, don't get me wrong, he's better than what we've got.
He's an upgrade on what we've got.
No, I understand that.
It's more than that, though, for me. Why you need?
It's a vocal point in your side.
It's someone in the changing room who has the standards to pull everyone else up and say, what are you doing? But this is the problem. We don't have these players who have got standards. If you're looking at Sigurdsson or Snyder, listen, Sigurdsson, as I imagine, is a brilliant professional, and some things may not come easy to him. But if he's a senior player, I'm looking at him thinking, And then I look at someone like Snidling jogging back when they're scoring, and you're my role model. Sorry,
that's why Fabian Delph was brought in, though.
Yeah, I know, and that's the problem. He's not, and I understand he hasn't been playing, but
that's the standards that we've set.
Bring him back.
I think that takes time to change your culture in a squad, and I think it will do.
It doesn't, and I'll tell you why. Because if you send a team out and you put the armband on Sigurdsson, you're saying to the rest of them,
I agree.
Doesn't matter.
The problem is that Everton are in a position where they can't use a Sigurdsson, so they can't just cascade into this. I know we should probably...
You don't have to put the armband on.
I agree, but this is the problem, because I saw someone tell me before the season, and let's be honest, Marco says thing in the summer that don't apply 3 months later, he listed the 4 or 5 captains, whatever it is, and he stuck to it. Now, I don't know whether the Sigurdsson get a cob on with that, I don't know, whatever, but it doesn't matter. Lucas Dean is the captain. That's the be-all and end-all. And actually, I don't think the captain thing is just... It's about leaders in your team. You don't need one captain to be your leader.
You don't, but it's still a message.
Oh, it's a message,
Tom Davies has been in there and playing well every week, right?
Yeah.
And that's the first...
He cares.
You know, he's been one of our better performers, so why isn't he the captain on Saturday? Luca Dean's been the captain, so why isn't he? He was the captain at Southampton. Why wasn't he?
He's been a slave to Gylfi since he got here.
Yeah, but Gylfi played against...
Oh, I'm not even supporting the manager. Gylfi Sigurdsson is... You
sound like one of them.
What?
You sound like one of them.
Who?
You sound like one of them.
Who's one of them?
A Marco lover.
No. I'm not even defending him. I actually think it's ridiculous, if I'm honest.
It's all ridiculous.
If you're staking your pole in the Gylfi Sigurdsson camp, you're staking your pole in there going, this is my best player, you're not going to get far. You're going to be a mid-table side, and that shows to sign for Everton.
I just find it very odd that we've gone back to something that never worked in the first place.
Funny enough, we're after David Moyes.
But to be fair, he tried it day one, didn't he? And the first couple of games of last season, we looked quite lively with those 3 up front. Oh, we did. We looked lively. We had...
In the midfield, we had Garner in midfield.
Well, we did have Garner, which made the difference. But what I mean is, he had Tosin and he had Richarlison, didn't he, and Walcott, and they were lively for the opening 3 or 4 games of last season. But he spent money since then. So you could understand him starting with them on day one, because he's only got a few players through the door and he weren't fit. I can't understand them start going back to it 17, 18 months later.
No,
17 months later.
Insane. It's a bad message.
It's not really working. You hang your hat on people. You say it's number 1 Dominic Calvert-Lewin, number 2 Moise Keane, number 3 Cenk Tosun. That's how it is.
You look as well. I said this before the game. Everton really haven't got much athleticism in midfield with all the players out at the moment, and there's no real ball progressors from the field. Gabama was going to be, and Gomez were going to be the 2. I'm going to guess. Unfortunately, they're both injured. For whatever reasons. Fortunately, Andrew was obviously receiving another bad tackle, but without that, you've got Tom who, with passing, does progress the ball from the field, but he's not the most athletic of players, and he has put a bit of bulk on as well. And then you've got Morgan Schneiderlin, who's a crab, really, and I really don't understand. If I'm a manager, right, and I'm not a manager, I haven't got my license or whatever, but I look at the game and go, Morgan Schneiderlin's only job is to sit and screen that back 4. Why is he running beyond players? Why is he going past Sigurdsson at times? It's just
Portish, isn't it?
And why isn't he getting back? If someone plays a long ball, right, their first goal, right, I'm not defend. The Holgate should have been stronger, and Mina should have been stronger. But if someone plays a long ball, as soon as you see that long ball, if you're a defensive midfielder, your only job is to get back. No, it's not even to track the runner. It's to get back. It's to get back, and to pick up the bits. That's what Garner didn't track runners. Garner tracked the ball. Garner went all over the pitch looking for the ball and found it. That's what players like him and Ndidi and Kante do so well. They don't track men. They track the ball and they go hunting for the ball. And when you see that ball, you should be. Why do you see him in the background just leisurely jogging back when the ball was in the air?
Because he doesn't care.
He doesn't care. He doesn't care.
He's not cared since, I think, after the first 6 months, he realised that. I don't know why he realised that Everton were not Man United, I guess, or whatever he realised.
That's
and I think this is the problem when people go, wow, we only buy players from Barcelona, but then players are coming off Barcelona hungry to prove Barcelona wrong. Morgan Schneiderlin is basically his dreams are dashed. He's here to collect the money. That's the difference.
I think
go to West Brom.
I think the thing is
sliding doors.
Koeman bought him, didn't he?
Yeah.
Right, and the drop off came when Koeman went.
Yeah, exactly.
He hadn't started the season brilliantly. Don't get me wrong, under Koeman in the second season, but when Koeman was sacked, issues began.
Yeah.
Right, so he's probably come in thinking, I'm working under Ronald Koeman. He's been with him at Southampton. He liked him and all that. He convinced him.
He trusted him, yeah.
And then he's gone. within a couple of months. Because don't forget the first few months, he was very good for Everton. Snyder played really well, kept everything going, done his job. He couldn't, but he done his job.
That's mad thing, isn't it?
Him and Ross played well together.
And they were good together. He sat, give it, protected, popped it off, and we went forward. That wasn't there the next season. It wasn't there. And since then, I feel like he's wanted to get out the club.
Yeah.
Right? Because maybe the club don't, the fans had turned a little bit. He got sent off in Lyon when you were there. He then had the incident with, he was sent home from training for Arsenal about with Morales.
Weak players can't play for Everton. It's I know you spoke about this one, but there's a toughness.
Do you know what it is though? You've just said it right there. When he was at Lyon, he got himself sent off on purpose. It was so obvious to everyone who watched it.
On, didn't he?
The fans in the crowd, the fans there at Evertonians went absolutely mental. And then
because he had the cop on.
So he got away with it that night. Okay, petulance, whatever you want to say. And then he did it again with the training thing. And that should have been the end of Morgan Snyder's career. No other manager, I think only because Everton have had such a turnover of managers, has it been allowed to slide. Whereas if one manager had been in charge and stayed in charge, they wouldn't have allowed Morgan Snyder to come back into the fold. And yet we did. And that to me, again, is weakness. Whereas fans were saying, he's going, he's got to be gone. And then Silva came out and went, no, he's a good player, him. We're going to keep him. It was like, yeah, but...
You reap what you sow, don't you?
But to be fair, I don't blame Silva for that because he's come into the club and everyone will have had a fresh slate and all that, won't he? But
he should have given another chance, wasn't
he? But he should have assessed by now, shouldn't he?
It's characters, it's culture and character assessment. That managers, especially as a head coach or whatever you want to call it, is one of his main roles is culture. And obviously the culture at Everton isn't right because there's no, as you rightly say, there's no standards, no leaders.
There's no standards.
Yeah.
People like Morgan Snyder do what they want and are asked. And I'm not, by the way, I'm not saying that for like a Gylfi Sigurdsson because I think Gylfi Sigurdsson is slightly different. I think his legs have just gone. And I don't think
he's played a lot of hard games.
And I don't think, well, this is it, we've said this before, he has played a lot. I don't think, it's not that it's a lack of trying as such, it's not a lack of caring. It's just that I don't think he can do what
he's also not fit.
What he can do anymore.
He's never been the right
and it happens
either.
To every player. It's just that it's happened, people forget how old he is, he's played a lot of football, played a lot of international football. He doesn't fit into what we want him to do. It's not the way we want him to do. It's not necessarily a way modern footballers. It's weird how in the last year he's dropped off and someone like Christian Eriksen's dropped off as well. That role that people want them to play. It's almost like other clubs have realised that now, and we're getting more of those DMs like a Ghana who can get round the pitch and almost snuff that kind of player out. Exactly, yeah. People are saying now, well, we don't need creativity in that position now because we'll just. Look at Liverpool.
The full-backs are prominent, aren't they now? And a lot of teams, the best teams go with a front three, don't they?
A lot of teams also see people who can win the ball high up the pitch as more valuable because they're creating a number of advantages.
Yeah.
So they sacrifice that person who needs the ball all the time for someone who can win the ball back consistently. Now, unfortunately, Gabamon got injured. I think he was supposed to be that for us, and we're a bit short at the moment, obviously. So I'm going to guess that it'll be Davis and Schneiderlin again because there's no other options there really unless
Delph's fit, isn't it?
Well, Delph, there you go. Delph plays that, but then the problem is that I think as well as we as fans we need. It's sad to say again. We need probably a bit of. It's going to take time to turn over the squad. You can't ship 30 players out every year.
You can't, but
I agree.
Like Saturday, he didn't help himself. Iwobi, like Ped said, was bored. He said he's a number 10. He said he's a number 10. So we need to maybe he needs to like rewatch what he says when he
does. Yeah.
Do you think that? And we've mentioned this before. I know we're struggling at the moment with the players in certain positions, but do you think we've got too many players in other positions, and it's leaving that issue? And I think this has been discussed before in terms of Moyes. Moyes had to play players. So the likes of your Kales, likes of Arteta's, likes of Leon Osman, it was sink or swim. They had to play. There was nothing else. The team had to just get on with it. Pienaar had to get used to it. It wasn't a case of, he's had a couple of bad games, we better take him out because we've got another player. I feel like there's a little bit of that of the moment where, like we've mentioned, Moise Keane. If there was nobody else, Moise Keane would have played
every game.
every game, and would be down the road now to being half a decent striker or whatever. Or same with Don, like you said before.
Oh, you know he wasn't, mate.
Yeah. Whereas we're like, well, after 3 games, we'll take him out. Cenk Tosun's like the biggest example.
We know.
He's got no right to be in this Everton team, and yet finds himself in there because the manager has got no patience to leave someone in.
Well, that's why he's not right for the club, because we've got a director of football whose mandate is that we bring sellable assets in, essentially, and young players you develop, and you have to play them through the mistakes. And Marco Silva can't do that. He just loses his confidence, changes the team all the time. It's just not a right fit for the club where we're going.
You've got to have
the commit or you don't.
You've got to have a manager who's confident in what he's doing. You've got to have someone who will stand up and go and play him, regardless. So
Poch did that at Tottenham.
We've had it. Listen, I read the thing with Klopp the other day, and he talked about only liking 16, 17 players. He said you can't have 22 players. He said it causes issues all over the place. 22, 23 players.
Can't keep
them happy, and therefore when there's unhappiness, there's talk and there's clicks, there's this, that, and it doesn't work. And Everton have got too many options, like you've said. In some respects, there's too many options, and yet us as fans will want more and more, won't we? We want more options. We've got very limited options in the middle of the park, for the simple reason that we've lost Gabaman, who listen, we don't know anything about him. I've seen him in Germany and he was excellent. Can he do it here? I don't know.
We'll see, yeah.
He's played a game and a half, and that's it. We've lost Gomez now, but Gomez wasn't exactly playing great, but he was the only one who could get his body on the ball and keep it and go either way. Delph, who's come in, has been in for 3 and out for 3. Just the injuries have kicked on. And we go back then to Schneiderlin, who none of us wanted to play anyway. So the problem he had at the weekend was he just went back to slow. You can get away with Gylfi in a team if you've got legs. You can get away with Schneiderlin in a team if everyone around them has got legs.
You can't have a spine
right?
like that.
We didn't need to play Sigurdsson at the weekend. Schneiderlin was in there and he's slow. So therefore it should have been Davis and Iwobi, and you should have been able to say to Schneiderlin, sit alongside Keane and Holgate. Mina and Holgate. And Iwobi and Davis make the runs and then move these about, and he didn't. It was slow, and we were punished for it. And like you said before, Norwich took their chances, and here we are with another defeat.
Yeah. and that will, well, that's the end of his tenure.
And the end of part 1.
And yeah, it's a good way to finish part 1.
I mean, I was going to say that you jumped in, you robbed it off me. Thanks. We'll be back in part 2 to discuss why we think it's all gone wrong. See in a minute if you want to come back. Welcome back to part 2 of the Toffee TV podcast. Andy, the Piv, is here. Didn't introduce him before.
Howdy.
I'm Baz. My name is Ped. There you go. There's only
full introduction.
The introductions have been done. Not full introductions.
No,
clearly. I mean,
that'd be wrong.
It's not my real name.
What?
Piv isn't.
What?
Piv?
Well, that's not my name because I tell people it's not. But your name's not bad.
No.
See, you learn something every day.
You learn.
No, your name is Baz.
It is Baz. I mean,
it's literally not.
It's honest. It's honest.
Checkbook, if anyone knows what one of those is.
Checkbook.
Which one's like that?
Blankety blank checkbook and pen. Oh, I remember that.
So easy. You don't think, what checkbook?
Do you remember blankety blank?
Yeah.
Do you remember the plies?
Blankety
blank, blankety blank.
See, I remember the 90s revamp.
Blankety blank, blankety blank.
90s revamp.
Blankety blank, blankety
Really
blank,
savage,
blankety blank.
Blankety blank.
Blankety blank. No, Terry Wogan.
No, but the 90s revamp had really savage.
Terry Wogan, right. And he had this microphone, and it was dead thin. Remember?
Cool,
the dead thin microphone, like handle.
It's like a
wireless.
Tiny little. And it was so we could, like, because if anyone has never watched it, I mean, go on YouTube. So it was like three, and then 3 behind them, slightly higher.
Yeah.
And he'd say something and then he'd go blank, and then they'd have to fill it in with hilarious consequences.
It was great.
It was brilliant. Why it's not on TV now? Because
is it like the Celebrity Squares in America type thing?
Sort of, yeah. But it was such a simple format.
Funny as well.
That I can't understand why it's... No, what else was great? Bob Monkhouse's...
What's the quiz show?
No, what was it called? Bob Monkhouse's Saturday... what was it called?
Family? No,
not Family Fortunes.
No. Did you have to go that close, past?
That was something else.
Yeah.
But it was Bob Monkhouse's like Big Night Out. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Do you ever remember Bob Monkhouse?
I remember he used to do a quiz show on BBC 2. I can't remember what it was called.
You know, he was like, basically, like, they said he was like the greatest comic ever in this country. And he was so good that what he did was, I know this is not about Evan, but I don't care.
We're comedies.
So what he used to do is, he'd tape if there's something on TV, he taped everything off TV, like everything. And someone, they showed, one day when he died, they showed his video collection, and he just had rooms and rooms and rooms and rooms of all these just VHSs, because he taped everything, because he used it all as material. There you go. Also, someone stole his joke book and held it hostage. There you go. That's another thing you didn't know. Any other game shows you'd like to bring back?
Blockbusters has been brought back a couple of times. It's to no avail. Bob Owens was the man, weren't he? You know. Well, the quiz shows that I like. I don't know Who Wants to Be a Millionaire anymore.
I don't like that one where... What's that one called? Naked Attraction?
That's not a quiz show.
Not a game show.
It's not a game show.
That's just the dating thing.
That's just setting people up to it.
That's a game show.
Just get your bits out.
It's not a game show.
I mean, how bad's that? You're standing there bollock and some woman's looking at you and goes,
not big enough.
Not for me, mate.
Not for me, not with those watts.
It's mad. It is mad.
I'm trying to think of classic game shows they should bring back. Any game shows you like now?
The Chase is always great.
Chase,
I prefer Pointless.
I don't know. I think it's Tories watch Pointless.
Yeah. Are you sure?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
I just don't.
Are you telling me the presenters aren't Tories?
I like it.
I don't think things.
Richard Osman, Alexander.
Richard Osman's not. Richard Osman's a man of the people.
I think someone's a fan.
He does World Cup things with Crisp.
The Tories don't watch the World Cup except rugby.
All right. It was about quizzes, isn't it? Not about.
All right,
listen to you go fully political.
Baz Killington again at his best.
Baz is one of them.
No, because people hate political chat.
I do as well, to be
political. Fair. Well, you're right. Andy's saying you only watch Pointless because you're a Tory. I don't watch Pointless. I
used to like Weakest Link. That used to be quite because everyone used to turn into it. Yeah, goodbye. Yeah.
I like Only Connect. It's quite. I mean, it's quite hard.
It's a bit niche, isn't it?
It's hard.
University Challenges are quite a challenge.
I've never even heard of that. Only Connect.
Victoria Corrin does on BBC Two.
Well,
it's good.
Anything that she's in.
Who's Victoria Corrin?
Don't you know Victoria Corrin? She's married to David Mitchell. Did you know that?
Yes.
David Mitchell?
Well, her name's Victoria Corrin Mitchell, actually.
She used to be a professional poker player as well. Very intelligent woman.
She's dead intelligent.
Very intelligent. She used to be a... Put it this way, she's one of those like celebrity women.
Facing.
No, but she's one of those celebrity women that if she'd been around in the 90s, she would have been Loaded. Yeah. Would have been on the front cover of Loaded.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she's...
I never saw Victoria Wood.
What about 10 Cats does Countdown?
It's quite good, but it's jumped the shark.
Yeah, apart from it's good apart from Rachel Riley.
Got Jimmy Carr on.
Jimmy Carr's on
it. Terrible laugh.
Yeah, it's got a
So Everton.
Yeah,
Everton. With Shannon delayed.
The game show of life.
I mean, to be fair,
up and down.
That's not bad.
The game of life.
The game of life. The game of a little.
Bride's 90. Everton. Yeah.
Where's it all gone wrong?
Where has it all gone wrong?
I always go back to the top because I think Mashiri's got a lot of.
Well, listen, the manager is going to get the sack in the next 2 weeks. Let's be honest, he is.
He was a poor appointment.
He was a bad appointment. But in terms of the top, like you've just said, we've got an owner who's just about to be appointing his 4th manager
in 4 years.
In 4 years, spent more money than Everton have ever spent ever.
Yeah,
probably. All together.
Ever, yeah.
I read something
in the Premier League.
Alan Stubbs said something. He said today. He said we've spent more money on compensation for managers than David Moyes ever had to spend.
Yeah, probably.
And he's right again. And you just think
that's because Alan Stubbs wants to come in as part of David Moyes' back.
But you think he's got his own academy now.
He can jog on.
You just think that this just can't go on the way it's been going. You can't, we need and I think we've probably said this loads of times, but we need a reset. We need a hard reset to just start again and actually define what we want to do and where we want to be, but without going, we want to be in the Champions League like tomorrow. Because if you think about it, if 4 years ago, or whenever he came in 3 years ago, if he'd said, I want to be in the Champions League, but in 10 years, and I want to do it gradually, bit by bit, create a team, create a great atmosphere, create a great mentality, get the right people in place, take our time with it, bring young players through, then at least then that's a way forward, isn't it?
No one would have bought into that.
That's too long for Evertonians. We've got no patience.
If you'd have said 5 years, maybe.
But there's also the issue of, I think when Mashiri came in, he's obviously lent heavily on, on Bill as a football man, really, hasn't he? And now, Bill obviously had great success with David Moyes. But then Roberto Martinez signed from Wigan because he won the FA Cup. Let's be honest here, Roberto Martinez was never good enough to be Everton manager. This is the problem with Everton. The last 4, including Sam Allardyce, 4 main managerial appointments have all been from clubs who were fighting relegation, except Southampton, but he was just arrogant, really, let's be honest. But that's the problem. You look at, we need to stop with this retreads. We can't, Eddie Howe had been linked to the job. That's another example of another manager who exactly the same mould. He's never been competitive. He's never been involved in, except the Championship,
and
maybe.
Isn't doing well right now.
No, exactly. There's no consistency to his side. You can't do. You need someone.
His league placings have got worse as well.
I know people go, oh, we can't have another young manager.
More money every year as well.
We can't have another young manager. I wouldn't lump Marco Silva in with the best young managers around because he's not that good. He's not on that level. Now I get the idea that we do need experience. I'm fine with.
Do you think Eddie Howe's a better manager than Marco Silva?
No. I think he's better at that club because he's been there so long and he's established something.
Because it just makes me, when people go,
pressure.
He's better.
It's established.
Eddie Howe's never done a thing.
His methods work there because of the players he's got, and he's built a culture.
I think they're very similar to each other in terms of the pressure that they've had to deal with. Like, I know listen, we can sit and go, well, Silva's been the manager of the likes of Olympiacos, but he won stuff for Olympiacos. So it was a different kind of pressure. Coming to Everton, I think this is the same for Eddie Howe. You've watched Silva, you've watched the way he's buckled as a human being.
He's aged, yeah.
He's not up to the rigours of being the Everton manager, and that sort of tells you that what you need to be the manager. You need someone who can stand up to the fans, but also knows how to relate to the fans. Now, Sam Allardyce knew how to stand up to the fans, but he couldn't relate to the fans.
Well, he trolled us, didn't he?
Exactly, that's the point. If he'd sort of done it, if he knew how to talk to us, which he couldn't because no one really wanted it anyway. But part of the job, he knew how to. He puffed his chest out and went, "I'm big enough to do this job. I've done this and I've done that." But he couldn't do the other side of it. We need a manager, and this is where it almost feels like it has to be an Everton man, or someone who's got the credentials to say, "Listen, this is what I've won. These are my trophies. Listen, if you don't like me, fine, but this is what I've won." And I think that's been the problem, hasn't it, in the last 4 years, is that we get managers in we go, what have you won, mate? And they go, I won the Greek Zenith Data Systems trophy or something. And but no, that's what I mean. You know? And fans go, and we know what Evertonians like is weird, just the same. They go, sound, great. That's amazing, mate. That's amazing that you've won that. Even Koeman had a great playing career. We know how good it was. But he as a manager, is living off what he won as a player. He's not living off what he's done as a manager.
He's won the odd thing, hasn't he? Won the Portuguese Cup with
I could win the Spanish.
Benfica.
Would you up front, Piv?
He destroyed Valencia, didn't he? Because I think he ripped through, what's his name? The keeper with the blonde
hair. He's left carnage.
Canizares.
He's left carnage.
He was horrendous. The worst he's ever seen. He said, worst he's ever seen. And there was that, Martinez scored the last minute winner against City in a cup. And
relegated 4 days later.
Was given the Everton job. Should they give it to Ralph Rangnick then? That's when.
He's the club builder for the year, right? The problem.
Porto guy in, I say.
Yeah. Vito Pereira.
Yeah.
He's a mercenary, isn't he? The issue with Marco is what suggested a Hull and Watford, forget his Greek career, forget it, that suggested that he was right for the Everton job. Why did we go all in with a lot of money, by the way? Now why was Mashiri so enamoured with him? No. Now again, he did have a couple of good results. I think he had good results against Liverpool. He drew, I think, but I just don't understand the level of. If it was Diego Simeone, we were going like that. Go right, okay, fair enough. What could do? But you go hard at a manager who's worth it.
He was highly recommended.
By
Silva. I don't know.
Who's the football man involved in this?
But I'm saying he was highly recommended. He almost kept Hull up. Watford was Watford, wasn't it?
It's the gap we have.
Watford.
And their results sailed off when we were interested in him. I'm not justifying why he went for him. I'm just saying he was thinking he's a young coach, highly recommended. That's what we're looking for.
I look at him and go, another highly out there, Marco Rose. Marco Rose is twice the manager Marco Silva is. You could just by watching his teams.
He won.
what's he won? He's won obviously the Austrian Championship. He's also been to the semi-finals of the UEFA Cup.
But I'm saying to you.
But I'm saying this is a person who's built. He's now top of the league in Germany.
This is what people will say, though.
No, I'm not saying suggesting.
So I agree with what Ped's saying.
What I'm trying to say is you can't lump them in the same category because there's different levels of ability.
One of the things that makes me laugh is, listen, I think what he was sold on, and I think we may have bought into this a little bit, was the idea of you were getting like the Pochettino before he went to top. No, I know, but from the outside, listen, we're not always in-depthers, and we know you'll know people that we won't know, but from the outside, that's what he was sold to us on. Is, you know, he will be the next thing if we allow him to be, and yet this is a guy that. I remember when they went 2-0 up at Goodison, Watford, and I genuinely thought that night, we're done, we're relegated here. But they were 2-0 up, and then we scored, and it got everything going, got us going, and you know, Dominic Calvert-Lewin in the ass and the penalty and all the rest. It was a mad night, and yet after the game, we tried to poach him that night, and it was like, shouldn't that have been where the alarm bell started ringing? That they were comfortably 2-0 up. And all it took was a little change of momentum. All it took was a little lean, didn't it? All it took was a change of momentum, and they just fell to bits. And that should have been really. Listen, we can all sit here and go, yeah, but we aren't paid to make those decisions. And you're coming off the back of. Don't forget, this was before Allardyce. So you're coming off the back of a Koeman. You're coming off the back of a Martinez. It needed something. That's when it probably should have been stability time, but like not Sam's stability, like a long-term stability. So maybe going for someone that will get you stability, but is a little bit boring, safe but boring. Maybe that's what we need for a few years, and I think that's exactly what we need now: is safe, boring but safe. Someone who's not going to rub fans the wrong way, someone who's going to get builders hopefully to a point. And I've said this loads of times that we go in the stadium. Maybe as fans, I'm not saying we're asking for too much, but I think if you're safe and a little bit boring and you're given the money that these managers have been given, I think you can achieve decent things.
But what Leicester did is they did that with Puel, and then they either a proper manager and they become a 40. I think. But
when they got Brendan Rodgers,
do
you honestly think that their fans were thinking?
They knew Brendan was best than Puel.
They knew he was better, and they probably thought he is a safe pair of hands. Been in the Premier League before. I think they've booked the expectation of what they had when they first got him. I do, because I think when they got Brendan Rodgers, a lot of people were like,
no one was really bad.
I'm not a huge fan of Brendan. I think he's a good manager. I think he's got a short shelf life. He plays tune him out. You look at the first season at Celtic, they won the treble, and then in standard slip the seasons, the following two seasons.
Did they only win the double the next year?
But what you could just see that they were losing games they shouldn't have lost. The standard slipped massively, and I just think he struggles with them. We'll see that with Leicester as time goes on, but. I don't think we need to be safe now. It's just a difference of opinion. You might be 100% right, and I might be wrong, or I might be right.
All right, well, hang on. Right, that's fine. I'm no problem. But define what you want then.
I am not saying I wouldn't want a safe manager. It just has to be the right manager for what we're trying to do. I've got no problem in it. Do you know I railed against Rafa Benitez originally, but when you think about Rafa Benitez, he's not safe and boring at all, actually, because he's had some really good sides. You look at Rafa. And my only issue with him is his on the pitch stuff, is just the transfers. So if he agrees to take, I'll go, let's get him now. Because, as you say, but Rafa can almost guarantee a top 8 spot, top 6 maybe even in most cases. And we've got a decent squad. And I just think that, but if he did go for someone who's a bit more young and exciting, I wouldn't say they're another Marcus Silva, because I wrote an article about Marcus Silva when he first came, when it was rumoured that he was going to be the Everton manager, and he was compared to Roberto Martinez because the data, and whether people like data or not, was exactly the same. Now I said maybe he should be given a chance because he's had poor sides, my mistake, whatever. But it's brought out that he is Roberto Martinez, and we've started to play like Roberto Martinez with this control of sides where we don't really control the game because it's not under any pressure. And like Martinez, once the underbelly of the midfield opened up and they were advanced on the back four, it was curtains. We've seen that, especially Martinez's last season. It was awful, wasn't it, really? And I think Everton needs to be smart with expanding. I think you've invested in a man in Marcel Brands, whether you think he's been great or not, whatever, he's been brought in as the football man on that board. He's the man who knows the most about football in theory. Why hasn't he been empowered to do his job? And if he fails, then fine, he fails, then we move on. But we'll never know unless you empower him, and it's a complete waste of time. And actually, you're going to end up having to rebuild again if it doesn't work out. So why don't we just get a manager who fits his philosophy? If it works, it works. If it doesn't, then we go, all right, we've tried that, it doesn't work. This is the problem with Everton. You bring in people who are ill-fitting. Marco, let's be honest, he is Mashiri's man. And I think if you're not Brands' man, then you've always got that rat out where you go to Mashiri in disputes with Marcel. And I think the hierarchy needs to be set at Everton. It is the manager, Brands, Mashiri. The manager doesn't go to Mashiri. The manager only goes to Brands. And that's and Everton need that sort of structure. If you want to make a director of football work and not have another glorified head scout, that's what you need to do.
This is a massive decision now.
Yeah,
because,
it is, yeah.
Like Ped's just said before, we're almost trying to have a reset button. I still will go back to last summer as the reset, because Brands is here and he hasn't been here before. That has to be the starting point. He's bought players, I think we've said before. I don't think he's bought badly at all. Is it a team that's working together? No, it isn't. Could another manager get more out of them? You'd like to think so, because otherwise there's problems if he couldn't. This manager quite clearly isn't going to be able to do it. That's how it looks now. Because we're still, like we've said many times, we're so far down the line and we've got no idea how we play. There's no real style. There's no switching back to old players to try to it should never be the case. So but it's a really tough decision now of who you get. It's your mid-season, you're struggling. People in jobs, are they really going to leave? If they're leaving a job they're in and they're doing the job well, then they're only leaving for money. And is that what you want? Or you go and get someone who's inexperienced, like Mikel Arteta. Will he leave mid-season? I don't know. I don't know. But if you offer him the reins and say, well, it's now, or otherwise we're going to appoint someone permanently, it's not you. You put that on his toes. But then again, is he the right man to come in?
No,
does he bring people in with a bit of experience, or what? Or do you actually just say, well, it's the same argument with Duncan Ferguson. I've said it before. Nothing qualifies Arteta more than Duncan Ferguson in my eyes. Nothing
apart from Pep Guardiola. But that's not. I agree. That's not an argument. But that's what people level.
People will say that. But if you actually stop,
I think the problem for Arteta would be that he's got. I don't know what his style's going to be because he's never managed. But he's going to bring in theory, a heavily possession-based style with a lot of movements. Now, hold on. That's very tough to make work. You need those pre-season weeks. You can't do that mid-season. Now, is Arteta one of those people who just want to stick to his principles, and it could go wrong? That's the risk you take. Now, that's why you bring in someone who is a bit flexible, who'll go, right, we'll get base now, and then we'll build on the base, and that's what you need to do.
But that's what I'm saying, where we're up to. Yeah. So, you can't just say Arteta's better because he's worked with Pep Guardiola. It means nothing, because otherwise everyone will be better. Colin Harvey was an amazing coach and was a terrible manager.
True.
So, but there's loads of them, isn't there? Steve McLaren, there's loads of them. So we can keep going and going. So the only other options then leaves you with someone like Rafa Benitez, who I think is a brilliant manager. He's got the connections to Liverpool, and we all hate him for that.
10 years ago.
But by the same token, is a brilliant tactician. Give him some money, give him better players than he's ever had at likes of Newcastle. Look what he did with them. They're a first division, they're a championship side, and he had them halfway up. So, with money, I think he'd get Everton in the top 6, pushing for the top 4, really do. Even now. And then if it isn't someone like Rafa Benitez, then what you're looking at is, an interim manager till the summer. Because what you Everton, realistically, let's be honest, Everton should have been doing this from the summer. They should have been saying, if this doesn't work, because last season we were talking about sacking him.
Yeah, January, yeah.
You know what I mean? So therefore, if it doesn't work, who've we got our eye on? Who's our number 2, number 3, number 4 if we can't get number 1? And that should be applying now, right? And it may be.
I think there is a manager who's got a mind. Brands has got a mind that he's not going to be available to the summer. But go on, yeah.
Well, if that's the case, then it's an interim, isn't it? And your interim is either Duncan Ferguson or David Unsworth. Or, so the best one available from there will be David Moyes. Now, people are against David Moyes, and I get it.
There's history, isn't
there? There's got to be, like Pet just said right at the very start of this bit, a manager who understands the fans, knows the club, has done it before, and will have a baseline of level of performance. Now, it's not going to catch everyone's imagination, I understand that, but what would we rather do? Rush into something now, and we're sitting here in June going, is this fella the right manager for the job?
I think that's what you should do, an interim, for that reason, because I don't think there is a person who, apart from Pochettino, which he's not going to come, let's be honest, without there that you go, that is unequivocally the best choice for us. That's why I think you should wait. And I think an interim. Now, there is obviously David Moyes, Louis van Gaal as well. And I don't know if he'd take it or not, but he is out there. He's worked with Marcel Brands before successfully. He's at Alkmaar. They're steady hands. And also, with Louis van Gaal, you know, if you want to get medals out, there's a man with medals. You know what I mean? He'd sort the squad out quite quickly, and he'd play young players by all means. But that's what I think. So I think that's the best choice for Everton. I don't think you should just go and play, you know, we'll say Marcelino. Now, Marcelino is a good coach, but he's been sacked a lot of times. Very intense, may not fit with this squad culture. He weighs his players 3 times a day at times. That doesn't fit in everywhere unless you're the number one. And I think you shouldn't go for second choices anymore. There should be a clear message through the club that they're all in agreement that, say in the summer, they want Erik ten Hag, for example. Yeah. But Marcel Brands says he's the man for us. That's who they get in the summer. You start the summer afresh. I'd rather not just get a manager who's 6 months down the line and go, like Sam, really, why have we given him a 2-year contract? Now, we all knew he was only interim, Sam, basically, but he was given a 2-3 year deal, and that was a millstone around the club's neck in terms of money. We can't do that again. We have to make the right choice.
It's a real difficult one, isn't it? Because we are sitting here knowing that in a week's time we've got the Merseyside derby.
We're writing it off, essentially.
We're writing both games off. A lot of people aren't they? We're writing both games off. We're saying, you know, probably something will be happening after that. But no one can put the finger on who they want. That's the thing. There's no one outstanding candidate out there, and that makes it very, very difficult. I mean, I would love to see, I've said this before, maybe a situation where you have a David Moyes and maybe his number 2 become the long-term manager, whether it be an Arteta or a Duncan Ferguson. But I can't see that working unless, I mean, the only person that would really benefit would be Duncan Ferguson, really.
David Moyes wouldn't agree to that.
No, that's what I'm saying. He wouldn't agree to that. Why would he agree to that? The only way he would agree to it is if you know, that maybe led to him getting other jobs, but that situation at West Ham hasn't led to him getting other jobs, and he doesn't want to become one of those people that is seen as a firefighter, I imagine, as well. So that's a difficult situation for him. We are stuck in an absolute mess, but it's a mess of our own making. It's a mess of our own making because we've painted ourselves into a corner in terms of financially what we can offer. Managers will see what's gone wrong for other people. They mightn't like the idea that there's meddling involved or that there's too many people making decisions at the club. But what I do think ultimately what we need is a manager who is the face of the club. Is the face of the club, not this guy who comes in who can barely speak to his own fans, who the fans can't get behind because they don't know him. As you know, we've mentioned it loads of times. Saturday was the first time Marco Silva's name was being sung by the Gladys Street.
Yeah, I don't remember he's got a song. That's the first
time.
I don't think Hume had a song either, to be fair.
Sacked in the morning.
Which is a sad indictment.
Right, his name wasn't used, but
a song about him.
Well, yours, his name, isn't it? We know him about as much as that.
No, but that's the point, though, isn't it? That's a terrible indictment to a manager.
Well, the club's not helped him, has it?
No, it hasn't. And listen, the club are not getting off scot-free at all. The club have been
sleep at the wheel.
Very, very poor at this. They've allowed this to continue for 18 months, where they've done nothing to help this manager. And you know, the manager who is who he is. His personality is what it is. But we know for a fact, and we've been told for a fact, that away from those cameras, he's a very open, honest, nice man. We've never got to see it. We've never. Those barriers have never been broken down, and because those barriers have never been broken down, he's never been able to assert himself as the manager. You can't be the manager of Everton Football Club and just come into a press conference once a week and mumble and then get off. That can't. You've got to embody the football club. You've got to absolutely embody it. Night and day, community, first team, whatever it is. You've got to be the guy who comes out and says where the club's going and what it's doing. Because for too long it's been this idea of, Brands is that man. Brands doesn't speak to the press or speak to Everton either.
He shouldn't need to, because he's not the face of the club. He should be in the manager should be the absolute face of the football club. And what makes it worse is every time they have rolled him out for a community thing, you see him smile, and it's like this half broken smile of like,
I don't want to be here. And I don't mean that in like a Koeman way, where Koeman was like the arrogance.
Don't you go for this?
You know, I shouldn't be here. I'm not going to get a picture. When's this finished? I'm going to get off. Silva just looks uncomfortable being in the presence of people.
Do you think he's ruthless enough to be a manager at the top level?
No.
I don't, because you're bringing players back who you should be sharing out. Like, I always bring, there's two examples. Pep Guardiola's seen Joe couldn't pass the ball. Out you go, son. You know, you've been the goalkeeper 4 or 5 years, won titles by. Mamadou Sakho laughed at Jurgen Klopp. You need to be ruthless. You can't have players bringing players back in who were basically told to be insulted.
Do you know what? I don't think he's got to be a top manager. I don't think he's got the charisma to be a top manager.
No, maybe not.
I think you need a certain bit of confidence and a certain bit of arrogance and that charisma to come out and get your message over. And you know what you want? You want the opposition fans to hate you as a manager, because they're like, look at this idiot again.
I don't think Pochettino's got it.
I don't. I think he's respected.
But I just thought, look at him, he's not impressed.
Well, I think this is where Emery's failing as well.
And Emery.
I think where and maybe it's just an English thing. Maybe it's just an English thing.
Maybe it is, but then that's maybe why Pep got you so well then.
But maybe it's because
Mourinho.
But know what it is? It's because the Premier League is now a TV show rather than a game. So you have to sell yourself to the media to get
how good Conte was, and yet now people just laugh at him, and yet he was brilliant.
Well, you look at Sarri. That was borderline xenophobia to Sarri, because he wasn't interested. But he's a football geek. He just wants to coach and smoke. Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to be honest, Sarri's much better than Marco Silva.
Well, so at the end of the career, you'll be able to see, won't we? That's only. I think 18 years younger than Sarri, isn't he? I
think Silva is clearly a good coach. I just don't think he's got the confidence, the arrogance, and the charisma to.
You've got to be a manager. I'd always go back to and I will always go back to Howard Kendall. You know, we just won the league, and we won the league and the Cup Winners' Cup. We were amazing. We lost a cup final. You know, for the treble, and Andy Gray was a massive part of that.
Was huge,
and he went in and said to Andy Gray, "You're probably better looking for another club." And Andy Gray had just dominated it because he wanted Lineker.
But that's what you
Derek
do.
Mountfield, 15 goals from centre back, and was important in the title win and everything. Went and bought Dave Watson because it was, listen, this is what happens.
You see the weakness in your squad.
You're looking and going and moving people on, and you've got to have that ability to.
See past now.
You've got to look
Ferguson did that as well, numerous times. That's what you'd be able to do. You go. I might have the best 11 in the world, but he's starting to his ability. He's starting to sag a bit. I need to change that. That's what you do.
I honestly think Silva will go back to Portugal and have a good career.
There's only 4 clubs there, though, isn't there?
What I would say as well about
get a job in Italy.
What about another thing I'd say about Silva though is that he was marked from day one by a certain element of I'd like to say pundit, but I don't even think they're pundits. They're just
Sam Allardyce's mates,
spitting image puppets, basically, essentially, who do Soccer Saturday, who basically like, who's this fella? Why can't you give it to a British manager? Blah blah blah. I had no idea of what he'd done, and from day one, that has hung around him. And then bringing like Richarlison to us for like 50 million, the same thing again. And every step of his managerial career has been like scrutinised, where I don't think other people have. Like, no one gives a monkeys what Graham Potter's doing at Brighton or things like that. Do you know what I mean? They couldn't care less, but because he was coming in from outside, and he should have more scrutiny being an Everton manager. If we want to claim we're a big club, then there should be more scrutiny on us. But for me, I look at those characteristics and I just think you haven't got the characteristics to be.
They've undermined them at every opportunity.
That's the problem though, because Everton let the media control the narrative rather than getting out in front of it. They let Sam Allardyce and his pals create a narrative straight away around Marco Silva. And I'm not saying that I just don't think he's a good enough manager, to be honest with you. But I think that he's not been helped, especially by Everton. He sort of did the week with the Gomez thing again. Everton can't control any narrative whatsoever, and that's something that the club have to get on top of as well. The club needs to act like a big club, not
just like his subs. They're always about 10 minutes too late.
Yeah, true.
Everton have always got good intentions of doing something, but it always comes too late. Instead of, like you've just said, getting ahead of the situation.
Well, look, do it now. Look at how many people are out in the press doing the bidding of other people. You've got, the usual suspects saying Moyes, and we know that is. And then you've got other people saying, well, we don't really want to enter, we want a permanent manager. And there needs to be 2, 3, there doesn't need to be 4 or 5 voices at Everton. There needs to be a hierarchy. And especially...
listen, if you listen to John Blaine and his
show
crew, his cartel, It's the same thing. He always
John
say.
runs a cartel.
He does,
that is
he does.
outrageous.
A podcast cartel.
El Blano.
He always.
That's good. That is
El
good.
Blano.
El Blano.
He always says the same thing. Everton need a chief engagement officer to come out and be the face of the club and drive the narrative and say exactly what's going on or what they want to go on, instead of, we, like you've just said, we get all this sources from left, right and centre, and people go, well, that's nonsense. It comes from somewhere.
It's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
Well,
it is embarrassing because you've got 5 different journalists saying 5 different things, and you know it's all coming from some internal source.
There's pressure. There's been pressure applied through these sources. That's what it is. And the board needs to be on the same hymn sheet. We're never going to get anywhere if there's not. I'm not saying there's fine because I don't know, but you need to get on board with this next decision is huge. There can't be a situation where people undermine it from this very start. I'm not saying they will, but we can't have we can't just stroll into another 3 years of nothing again. It's proper. Either you make use of brands or get rid of them. It's
ever, you know, succession circles.
It's a carousel.
It's just going to keep going. But it's just going to. No, but it's not though, because it's just going to keep going down and down and down, because you can't. The money will have to stop. The quality is not there. Even the quality to sell is quite limited. So you're just going to end. And I've said this loads of times. We're coming into a massive period in the club's history with the stadium. It's our next big thing. This, we want trophies and everything, but this is the thing that is going to push us into that area where we will, not saying we'll have money, but the things like FFP, having a new stadium, you just forget about all that. So when you go, we need a new player this January, and people go, no, you can't have them. Why? Well, FFP's stopping us. If we don't get this decision right, there will be no stadium, as far as I'm concerned, because the worst thing will happen. And if people want to ignore the fact that we're in a relegation battle, that's up to them. But
I'm not ignoring the fact.
You're just betting your head.
No, because I know that this team's better than 10, 15 clubs in that league. Let's be honest.
But it's lost 7 times already.
Because the manager's really bad. Peds, I can't even tell you this how bad this manager is.
Listen, I've been sitting here since January telling the world how bad he is.
It's not that. It's not going to take a manager of that much different ability. Honestly, it's just.
But I don't think the players are that much better, because I don't think that many of them have got hearts.
I think a manager inspires them.
To go to Oz.
Look, do you know what? I reckon you could say a manager's probably one across the park and pretty average side, and you get improved performance because he can inspire them.
Yeah, because he's a world-class manager.
No, forget his coaching ability or whatever his ability. He can inspire them. It's motivation.
A manager can change the total destination of a football club, as we've seen. Just as we finish, one fella who I think would have managed Everton died 8 years ago today, as recording this, is Gary Speed, who I think would have been a fantastic manager for Everton. So
God rest his soul,
sad, 8 years today.
Great player.
Tremendous great man player. Well. And I think he would have been a great Everton manager.
Definitely. Yeah. On that note, we will move forward to the final part of the show, where we'll be looking forward to Sunday's game against Leicester. Welcome back to the final part of the Toffee TV Podcast. Baz, the Piv and me. Leicester, have we wrote it off?
Is it tax deductible is what you should ask.
haven't written it off.
Isn't everything?
Haven't written it off, but it's one that I'm not looking forward to, put it that way.
Didn't we win there last season?
I think James Maddison's actually come back from the chip. He's done well this season, hasn't he? But yeah, that was a memory from last season where we did all right in that period. And I don't know, it's just the problem with the thing hanging over, the Damocles hanging over the manager. It becomes secondary the game, which is wrong, because 6 points, or 3 points in this case, and then the Liverpool game is 6 points. They're important. Even with draw or a win, you go up the league quite easy, and there's no, after that team was put out on Saturday, just extinguished hope for this next couple of games, unfortunately. And can he turn around and go back to players and go, get him your performance, I'm going to put you back on the team? They know he's a sitting duck. It's not happening, is it? Let's be honest with you. Very rarely happens when a manager who's basically walking, the dead man walking, is ever inspired to, well, maybe it's Pellegrini, but whatever,
I actually think it'd be interesting to see how we play, because that'll be a great indictment of what the players believe of the manager.
Yeah.
Like, if they think that there's like even 1% chance that a win could keep him in the job, then surely they should go out on Sunday and absolutely tear it up. Absolutely tear her up.
Certain players
Brick
should
walls.
be, because he won't be at the club in about 18 months.
We know that Coleman will be back in. Michael Keane will be back in.
Imagine it for his last game. He just plays the slowest team you've ever seen.
Do you honestly think Coleman won't be in?
I think he'll use any excuse to get back the plays that he wants. I think
Coleman will be back in, and I think Holgate and Mina give the goal. I think Keane will be back.
I think he'll play.
But that just sends.
I think he'll play Gomez with a boot on.
That sends a horrible message, really horrible message to players. You can't drop Mason Holgate. Give him a run of games.
Listen, I might be wrong. But
No, I know, but I'm just saying that it wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. He's done it to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He just dropped him completely out of the team.
He should be off after 70 minutes for Coleman. And
look at last night. Look at last night. You talked before the manager making decisions. Derek Dyer hooked or 2-0 because he was playing poorly and changed the game.
Derek Dyer?
Who?
I thought you said Derek Dyer.
Nathan?
I was like, who? Danny's brother?
Nathan Dyer. No, well, that's it, though. We make important decisions at important times, Mourinho, doesn't he? And, what Everton need at the weekend is competitors. They need people who can run around and match Leicester, because Leicester are a busy team. They work, they're quick.
They need someone to drag him Ndidi all over the together. Now, if Gylfi Sigurdsson plays, let me just say that would just be a smack in the face for fans. After he shrugged his shoulders at that second goal. People know I'm not a big fan of Gylfi Sigurdsson, but
I'd never noticed that, if I'm honest.
I just don't. I still look back at that thought, especially when we already had seen him.
Did Icelandic Stato hurt you?
No, really. I think he's an idiot, but allegedly.
There's no allegedly.
Well, who is it? Who is it? That's all the question you have to ask yourself.
Gylfi.
Yeah, is it Gylfi?
Gylfi's missed.
Allegedly.
No, I'm the same thing with you. When we were, and it'll be on film, is that when we were going for him, I was scratching my head going, why? He's got no pace. But I was sold he was this great playmaker that was going to solve all our problems.
Yeah, Ross Barkley's better.
Ross Barkley's miles better.
But anyway, move on. But it's weird because I was the manager. He doesn't really want to impress the fans after last week, does he? And that becomes.
Doesn't he not have a professional
obligation?
Pride?
He's an obligation. Yeah.
He said himself that he still thinks he can turn it round. He said that. So
is he going to bring Michael Keane who can't turn around in?
I'm just saying he will still believe that he can turn it.
I'm just going to say this.
He knows that West Ham game. He must have took some solace from that. It's maddening.
Why didn't we play the same way?
It's maddening.
I'm just going to say this. If he's not wearing the leather cap, I'll be very, very disappointed. That.
How glum did him and Bowen Morty look at the picture?
Bowen Morty looked.
That look. To be fair though, if you'd been in Portugal for a couple of days and you had to come back to Liverpool at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'd feel that we've all been on those stag days.
The problem though is why is he going back to Portugal? Really?
He goes back to Portugal all the time.
Yeah, that's not.
It's not good.
Just Jürgen Klopp goes to Germany every weekend.
No, because his wife lives here with him in Brendan Rodgers' house.
Hold on. His wife used to be Brendan. Oh, this is confusing.
This is getting confused.
Did she get her teeth done as well?
Was it like buy one get
you get it,
buy a wife get one free?
Brendan had the certificate was still in his house when Jürgen was like, free teeth. Hey, this is good from Brendan.
No, the Brendan's ex-wife came with the house, allegedly.
I mean,
sorry,
Mr. Rodgers.
We're just trying to get the Brendan Rodgers digs in right now. Listen, he goes back apparently quite regularly to every opportunity he can.
That's not good. That's not ideal.
That's not good at all. No. It comes that, and I'm not saying that is that commitment. I don't know whether his family live here or live over there. I don't know why he goes back there.
You don't know anything about him. Is he human? I'm not being that's a joke, but that's another indictment. At least we knew Roberto Martinez lived locally and had a wife, because he told us that story about watching Coronation Street in the split scene. His wife was watching the football. He was watching Coronation Street, and that's how it worked out.
Lived in Chorley.
Yeah,
he did live in Chorley. I knew a fella got into my cab one day and told me that he'd just done his heated floors, and he was a very nice man.
He is a very nice man, isn't he?
But you got a semblance of who he was. I mean, we all knew Koeman because we seen his villa and his Christmas tree.
And we had to go over there to unveil him.
Yeah. So we all knew about him.
Knew his commitment there.
Saying that, what a player.
Sam had his initials on his cufflinks, which I just thought was amazing.
And this big Sam on his villa in Spain, outside.
What a guy.
Big Sam.
At least they showed us their villas.
He's back with it. Why is Mourinho getting the Aladici line? He brought it back out the other day. It's 2019. He's still going on about that. You're just not good enough, Sam. Accept it.
Halcyon days of Sam.
Honestly, I must have a hit. Do you know what, though? That is like a really bad mark on the club's history to have Sam. It just says everything.
Let me ask you this. Would you be more confident going to Leicester on Sunday with Sam Allardyce in charge or Marco Silva?
Well, obviously Sam Allardyce, and I'll tell you for why.
I'll
tell you for why.
Not good.
Because, no, do you know why? Because whatever you think of Sam, and I'm not a fan at all, everyone knows this, whatever you think of Sam, his confidence, basically, he's going, I'm laughing at these because I'm doing the most basic things and I'm getting results. And that's what he does. He's not afraid. He's got no pride. Like some managers go, I want to pass the ball off in the back.
Isn't he the last manager to win at Anfield in the league?
Yeah.
With Crystal Palace.
But that's true, though. He's not bothered in the fact that people go, you're bored. And all that. He's just like, I'll just set the full-backs, they don't go over the halfway line.
Played one league game at Anfield with Everton and got a draw.
Yeah.
He won the Champions League tie that we were involved in, didn't he?
He did, yeah.
There was no Champions League, he just made that up off the top of his head. I don't want to get back onto him, but you would, though, because he just would go, he'd swallow his pride and go, I'm just going to draw this game. He wouldn't be bothered.
My worry for Sunday is that if we can see quite early, we could just fall to bits.
We are a pack of cards, aren't we?
Well, I said
one goes in and...
Well, that's why a new manager wouldn't take this job, because if you think about, imagine these two results are hard to not in some cases. If you're trying to install a new system and you get battered, you're basically talking about weeks and weeks of work down the drain.
That's why and this isn't right, but that's why I think the club are waiting. Because I think the club have looked and
Makes
gone,
sense, yeah.
Leicester away, Liverpool away. Yeah. Chances are we'll lose 2 games.
Then it's all on him.
Then it's on him. He can cut him. And then the new manager, whoever that may be, has got a bit of momentum going into a home game against Chelsea, 12:30, and Goodison, bit of a new manager bounce.
It also gives you an out in the derby as well. Because if we go into the derby and the manager, if he's still in charge, see, it wouldn't even surprise me if, like, on the day of the derby they went, Duncan Ferguson's the manager
for tonight.
He's gone and Duncan Ferguson's the manager, and everyone would be like, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? Whatever happens. And if he turned up and the players put a bit of effort in, we get beat, we just go, yeah, but we've just been beaten by the champions of Europe, who are currently top of the league. But you know what? Good reaction tonight, like we did when we went to Chelsea under Unsworth, where everyone was like, that was well better. It was marginally better, but people were like, that's well better. It doesn't matter that we got beat. I know, because we're on a hard to nothing when we go to Anfield anyway. So you might as well go there and have a go, and there's a freshness, then go and just limp through the game. Because then people will go, why didn't the ball get rid of him? That's not on the manager. Hang on, the manager shouldn't even be here. You should have sacked him. So it's on your fault. And then the spotlight goes on Bill, Misheri, and
let me ask you this: we lose 4-0 on Sunday, 3-0, 4-0 or something on live. Do you think they'll sack him on Sunday night?
It's pretty, they could do, yeah. You could see it, but then...
Sunday,
but I just think they've club fear having another mess in their hands like they did with the Unsworth thing last time. They can't wait weeks. And also I'd say, is this the most pointless derby in a long time? But literally, you go into a game...
I mean, since the last one.
No, but at least you cared in that game, though, and we thought we had a fighting chance. Probably the two after, I think there was one under Roberto and there was one under Moyes as well before the semi-final or whatever. There's 2 games where we just thrown our hand in straight away, and it's sad.
The problem is, it's great to sit and go, it's the most pointless derby, but
it's not great.
What I'm saying is, you look at the table and you go,
it's not.
Within the next 3 games, we could be in the bottom 3.
Let's be serious. We're not getting relegated with the teams below us. Let's be honest.
People keep saying this, and I don't know where this confidence comes from.
With your hand.
But I just don't. But I don't know where this comes.
We are. Listen, look at
Norwich stand up and just beat us.
It's a one-off. They beat Manchester City. Do you think? Oh, they're going to beat Manchester? They're going to finish above Manchester City? No, they're not. Exactly. Come on. Let's be serious. Norwich are a nice team, and they're built to go back down to the Championship. I really admire the director of football, Stuart Webber. But come on. Let's be Southampton. I think they know they're getting relegated.
That's fine. I don't know where the
Watford.
I don't know where. I honestly have.
Steve Bruce doesn't believe in tactics.
I just don't have any.
I
don't have.
That's fine.
Any confidence in this team.
You have nervous disposition with that.
No, because we're crap. Because we've been crap for 3 years. And
I keep
saying it's the same reason why I don't like this manager, because he doesn't embody Everton and never has. Turned up mumbles every time I see him, and I just.
Yeah, but that he's not. But yeah, out for you, right?
But he does.
Hang on, he's not going to be the manager.
I know, but the problem is though,
it's like sticking around like bad smell.
It's the dross that we've got in this squad though.
It's not that bad.
Well, it isn't bad.
Yes, it is.
No, you say that because you've not seen the best of them.
If we'd have won on Saturday, you wouldn't even be thinking about relegation.
I know, because then I watched it.
Yeah, but
We did get beat though.
No, I know, but that's the same thing.
All right, I'll keep me opinions to myself.
You don't need.
No. Listen, till we get to the end of December, and then I'll have a rethink on where we are. But at this moment, with what we're facing in December, the second half of the season is going to be very, very difficult, and we're going to go from having to win one game in 3 to having to win every other game to give us to get to 40 points. That's all I'm saying. But
How many points are on now? 13?
14. 26.
26.
It's 8 wins.
Yeah,
8 wins, a couple of draws.
Have you seen the dross in this league? And how many home games we've got?
Yeah, we've played them all, and half of them have beaten us.
Manager.
You can't always listen.
Manager.
As bad as I think
play
he
the
is,
manager.
as bad as I think he is, we've got players with this mentality.
You've been outsmarted by 3 managers who got come from the Championship. That is a bad manager. I'm sorry, it just is. The good managers, by the way.
What I would say, though, Pet, and I'm telling you how to feel. In our opinion, I think 35 points keeps you up this season.
Oh, well then, super duper.
No, listen.
Yes, second season of the boys.
I'm responding to your worry, right?
Just 8 wins.
I'm responding to your worry, right? But what I'm saying to you is, we will replace the manager, and whoever they bring in might look and go, I'd never place Snidel and Tosin and Sigurdsson in the same team, and you win more. Do
you see any similarities with the season, with Koeman's season where it went? Do you not see any similarities?
I think we were actually better prepared.
Oh my God, we're not.
No,
the squad was so ill fitting. You can't believe that.
No, what I mean is, I think we had leaders.
Who? They're all still there.
Wayne Rooney for a start.
He was for shell.
I think
Wayne Rooney is worth about 3 times any player we've got now in terms of. Well, he doesn't play.
Does Matty still in the squad?
He doesn't play. He's probably out skateboarding with Tom.
What I would say
taking pictures of pretty flowers.
What I would say is, we've got
with Bill.
We've got a much better side and squad than we had then.
I mean,
that's my opinion.
Hopefully, at some point.
We're going to add to it, by the way. We're not going to buy players for instant managerial loan players, but there's quality loan players, which we'll discuss in a later episode, by the way.
Imagine having Sugar
Chopper on loan.
Charlie Adam.
Gareth Bale was facing us, then fair enough, because he let his career build.
I'm trying to think if there's a third Burnley centre back we could have or something.
Go and get Ryan Shawcross.
Ben Gibson.
Go and get Shawcross from Stoke.
No, you're right.
On a happy note.
Listen, Evertonians, better times are coming. I feel it in my bones.
I've been saying that for 25 years.
No,
walked out of Wembley thinking this is going to be the bright times. Vinny Samways is leading us to the top.
Yeah. Well, I thought you meant when we walked out of against Man United. That fella said the immortal lines. If this Aurelian's got the dough, he says he has. You know,
we done the summer double.
We did.
FA Cup, Charity Shield.
Went there twice. Didn't concede the goal. 2 trophies in the cabinet. Off we went.
I was thinking
25 years later.
I was thinking. Oh, Danke have brought us so much luck.
And we broke in Chelskis.
Danke have brought us.
I was thinking.
Hold on.
Every other year.
Hold on, we finished 6th that year. We had a good season.
I was thinking Peter Johnson has built that mega store. He's here for the business.
He's here for the love.
The park end will be fantastic.
The park end will. Well, no, you just wait till he puts that second tier on the park end.
Or the retail centre.
And it'll be amazing. He'll open that cafe and it'll be amazing.
Who knew that like a Christmas put your money away thing scheme wouldn't last? You know, with the online boom coming,
are you saying it was a Ponzi scheme, the whole thing?
No, that's allegedly.
DJ Spuddles ruined
us.
Ruined Everton and Peter Johnson.
The megastore. Remember
him? DJ Campbell.
Yeah.
Blackpool scored against us.
He did. Of course he did.
Actually, you could probably name worse strikers that you could name better strikers who scored against Everton, realistically.
There you go.
John Stead.
There you go.
Esteban Fuentes.
Not being funny, if he'd been given the chance, DJ Bruno Brooks would have scored against us. One for the kids there. One for the kids.
Bruno Brooks.
DJ Spoonie. One for the kids there.
Oh, another Liverpool fan. Cop-eyes.
All right, and.
Right.
Let's leave it there. See you next week when we've won 2 games.
Imagine.
Marco, still a manager of the month. Away wins at Liverpool and Leicester.
Got a 5-game unbeaten.
A new 5-year contract. Matt Mashiri there saying, I told you so.
Oh, there's people out there.
Pointing like pets FIFA card.
It'll be like when Bill had Oldham Martinez after the Chelsea game. This guy's the greatest manager in the world. And you have someone behind Mashiri going.
Bill will be like looking at his feet.
By the way, just you did, Baz said, Ped has actually got a FIFA card behind. So people can't see. It's in point like Alan Sugar on The Apprentice, and he's a 99 rating centre midfielder.
Who plays for the Cubs.
Who plays for Toffee TV. And his attributes is 4th of November.
That's my attribute. Hey, on 4th of November every year, I'm amazing. You've missed it.
He's got a month period where he's outrageous.
Incredible.
There you go. Anyway,
yeah,
the podcast will be back next week. You can find the video.
So
of
you don't plug things properly on this.
I'm plugging them right now.
Are you going to plug your wonderful sweatshirt?
I'm going to plug everything. I'm going to plug everything right now.
Plug it then?
If you want to watch the video version of this podcast, you'll find that on Patreon, which is nice. We've got loads of videos that we do live shows every day except for Friday, because that's our day off. And we've got a brilliant new range of hoodies as well on the website. The link is in the description. Check that out, as well as a fantastic new Christmas jumper. There's so much going on except Everton winning. We'll be back next week. See you later.
Toodles.
Bye.